make a general statement to you, and I want to kind of tie a bunch of loose ends together so it all makes sense for you. Because I say this in various ways on the program, and I never really tie them all together. They're kind of all unrelated in the way that I present them, and I want to tie them all together as one bundle. I guess what it boils down to is that the way we have set up society is that we essentially have we've made it so that it's the job of men to allow money to flow to women. Let me tell you all the ways that I've discussed on the air money flowing from men to women. So this is all under one umbrella. I mean, women charge us for their company. They charge us for sex. They charge us for living with them. They charge us for allowing us to stand next to them. They have many of us bullied into believing that their company has financial value, there's a dollar value attached to it, and that we need to pay it. And in my life, there's been one overarching theme. I have money, and I don't want women to get it. Now, my friends will tell you I'm not a cheapskate. I am not a stingy individual. I help my friends out when they're in trouble. I give generous gifts to my friends. I've taken friends on trips. I take my friends out to restaurants, take them out boozing. I take good care of my boys. And I got no problem with that, and I think everybody who's known me, and I've had friends, my God, some friends going back 30 years. My friends all know this about me. As I've become more successful in life, I have gladly shared not just the financial rewards I've gotten by being successful. I've shared the experiences, whether it be taking my brother to the Playboy Mansion for the first time, whether it be taking a friend of mine who was a basketball fan under the stands at Staples Center so he could see where the Lakers locker room was. He just wanted to see the door they went in. He didn't even care about going inside. My boys have tasted great wine, great food. They've traveled to great places, stayed at great hotels, banged some of the most amazing chicks. Nobody can say I don't share the wealth. I do. I take care of people who are important to me. My housekeeper is taken care of in any number of ways. People who've worked with me for a long time. I generally take care of people I care about. But here are some of the ways I don't distribute money to females. And you've heard most of these on the air, but I want to put this as one category, one theme for a change. No, I don't spend extravagantly on dates. No, I don't buy expensive bottles of wine. No, I don't help them in any way financially. Don't help them pay the rent. I don't help them make car payments. I don't buy them things like houses or condominiums or cars. I don't pay off anybody's student loan. I don't need to do these things. In fact, I've talked to thousands and thousands of you who do these things. And it's not just women I date. I go to strip clubs under duress. And when I go, I'm generally either working there or I've been dragged by other people. When I go, anyone who's met me at a strip club knows I don't spend 10 cents on the chicks. I don't tip them. I don't get lap dances. I resent the idea of giving money to a woman for taking her clothes off. In my life, I've never hired a hooker. Ever. Not even once. I first got laid when I was 13. By somebody who was 15. And ever since that day, I never liked the idea of having to give somebody money in order to get them to get naked and have sex with me. So I don't pay for sex. I don't pay for women to get naked. I don't pay for them to grind against me. I just don't see the need to be giving money to women. Never wanted to have a child because I didn't want to be sending checks to women. I mean, how many of you do that? How many of you suckers out there have called in? And you've been sentenced to a life of mailing checks to some chick that you had 30 seconds of pleasure with years ago. And you're still paying for that. I'm tying all of these things together because I want you guys to know that you do not have to pay for company. You do not have to pay to be loved. You do not have to pay to see chicks naked. Your company is worth as much as anybody else's. You're a fool to buy the argument that a woman is giving you her company, and therefore you owe her. You owe her to buy dinner. You owe her to buy concert tickets. You owe it to her to buy her drinks. It's just wrong. Wrong. And I won't do it. I won't do it. It is one of the reasons I am a multimillionaire. I think back on the hundreds and thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands of dollars I've saved. Do you know how many chicks I've been with who had student loans, who would have loved me to help them out? How many chicks would have loved me to pay the rent for them? I didn't. They'd overdrawn on the credit cards. Could have made a payment for them. I refuse. I will not transfer my wealth to women in exchange for company or sex or nudity or time spent. There's no two ways about it. I don't buy them plane tickets or hotel rooms. I just won't do it. And I want you guys to think about this. You know, when you're about to spend money on a chick, guys, the world is set up so that men transfer their wealth to women, whether it be vagina money, whether it be child support, whether it be palimony. Palimony. I can't believe some of the stories I've seen about that. Palimony. Money being transferred. You got to be kidding me. Listen to this story. This is from Vancouver, Washington. Here's a good example. Says here, this from the Columbian newspaper, the court Thursday reversed a Spokane judge. This was last Thursday. Who had ordered a millionaire to pay $135,000 to his ex-girlfriend, whom he'd lived with for 9 years before ending the relationship. Clark County judges say the ruling reaffirms for all of the state's trial judges that no matter how sympathetic and I like to use this word, a dumpy may seem, the law does not provide relief for a partner who comes out of what's known as a meretricious relationship with nothing. In the time Patricia A. Soltero, 62, and Kenneth L. Weimer, 54, lived together, his net worth increased from $1.5 million to $4.5 million. Okay, well, that's good for him, but what does that mean for her? It shouldn't mean anything. It says here in December 2001, so we're talking back, 5 years ago. In December 2001, Weimer broke up with Soltero via letter and remarried his former wife. It was 2 months before Soltero was scheduled to have surgery in Seattle to remove a tumor from her tongue. And she said Friday she first sued Weimer because he stopped paying her health insurance premiums. He never should have been paying them in the first place. But clearly he felt he had to pay them in order to get laid. My opinion, of course. Soltero's attorney, Robert R. Cossey, also argued Soltero was entitled to a share of Weimer's assets. This is ludicrous. Just ludicrous. But since they were not married, had separate bank accounts, and all of Weimer's assets stemmed from an auto business he established long before they were a couple, justices ruled Soltero wasn't entitled to a parting gift. By the way, it shouldn't matter whether he established it before they were a couple. It shouldn't matter if he owned that business while they were living together. All these people, this is what's fascinating to me. You have all these people complaining about gay marriage. Oh, my God, the foundation of marriage. We have to support marriage. The foundation of marriage. And yet you have all these idiots who think that women are entitled to money whether or not they get married. You know, if you really do support the tenets of marriage, then you should support the idea that unless a man signs the marital agreement, unless he enters into a marital contract, that he doesn't owe anything at all. That's what marriage is all about. That's what it's all about. That's when you formed a partnership. It doesn't matter they were living together. So what? But no, she was entitled to money because they lived together. That's what they tried to claim. Says here, Vancouver attorney Scott Horenstein said he'd been waiting for the ruling and he'd suspected the justices would overturn the Spokane County Superior Court Judge Jerome J. Levesque. Soltero's attorney had argued Soltero was deserving of the money. This is the woman now. Because she spent 9 years cooking and cleaning for Weimer and had decorated their homes in Spokane and Priest Lake, Idaho. Soltero had also left her job at a credit union to work for $18,000 a year as a receptionist at one of Weimer's dealerships. So what? So what? She did that so they could meet in the broom closet every once in a while. Come on. Just an opinion, of course. Levesque calculated the $135,000 payoff by reasoning that Soltero's services as a companion, party host, and cleaner were worth $15,000 a year. $15,000 a year. Wait, they were together for 9 years, right? Wait a minute. Let me do the math on this a second. Yeah, they were together for 9 years. What's 9 times 15? Oh, yeah, $135,000. That's right. But it says here, nothing in Washington state law provides for an unmarried partner to be compensated for spouse-like duties, argued Weimer's attorney Alan M. Gopper of Spokane. Gopper, who acknowledged that Soltero was a very sympathetic person, got all 9 justices to agree upholding the case would set a terrible precedent. Gopper said, is she being paid to be sexual with him? It gets real weird. That's true. That's true. That is true. And you know that's what a lot of this is about, not just in this case. In most cases, women feel they should be paid for their sexual services rendered. This is more like prostitution than people care to admit. Typically, Horenstein said, meretricious relationships more closely resemble marriages in that couples acquire property together. Likewise, their separations more closely resemble divorces. In Washington and most other states, including Oregon, when unmarried couples split up, a judge cannot order one person to pay the other alimony. Good. In Soltero's case, said Superior Court Judge James Ruley, she, quote, got the benefit of the relationship and of being cared for. That's right. While she lived with him, the rent was paid, the groceries were paid for, she presumably had a car, and she had the gas paid for, the electricity, the cable TV, the telephone was all paid for. So while she was there, she was compensated. Once she leaves, she's not entitled to anything. And it says here, when it's over, the justices said it's over. Soltero's attorney did not return a phone call seeking comment. Soltero reached in her Spokane home and not yet heard about the ruling. She said. Says her words were difficult to understand because 2/3 of her tongue was removed during the 2002 surgery. She said Weimer offered her a pretrial settlement of $140,000. Now, this is the other thing. He offered her a $140,000 settlement. But her attorney encouraged her to refuse it and told her she deserved more. By the way, boys, that's why I tell you when you're going through a divorce, your wife says, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to go after your money. Don't believe it, because once the attorney gets them inside the office and closes the door and convinces them to argue with you for hundreds of billable hours, things change. The worm turns. Says here, Soltero doesn't have a job and lives off disability payments. She said when she divorced her husband of 23 years in 1983, she didn't come out of that process on top either. And she said as far as she could tell, there was no benefit to being married. Who says that all the time, dear? Okay. Amazing. My bottom line for you is stop transferring wealth to females in every possible way. Stop putting yourself in a position to be paying for dinners, paying for drinks, paying bills, paying student loans off, lending them money, helping them pay the rent. Stop putting yourself in a position to pay vagina money, alimony, child support. Stop putting yourself in a position to put their name on your credit card and then later on they don't pay the bill. This is all the same theme. We are in a society that believes that wealth should transfer from women to men, boys. You have the power to stop this. It's time for you to stop. Am I wrong about this?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
If it feels good, do it. That's my motto.
That's everybody's motto, just about to listen to this show, Gabriel.
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Amy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
I wanted to ask you if your housekeeper was a woman or a man.
My housekeeper's a woman, but I don't see her as a woman. She's an employee.
She's an employee?
Yeah, she's an employee. She's my employee.
But if you hire an attorney, she's an employee also.
I understand that. When I said I don't hire women as professionals, meaning as attorneys, doctors, accountants, architects, designers, that kind of thing. This is a housekeeper.
Okay.
She's my employee, and yes, I pay her.
A professional is anyone who gets paid for what they do, though, isn't it?
No. When we talk about a professional, we're generally talking about people who are in a profession such as one that requires an advanced degree.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yes. Another meaning of the word professional is anybody who does anything for money. So I guess you could say there are professional chiclet sellers on the streets of Tijuana and things like that. They're professionals. Right. But that's preposterous.
Okay.
Everybody knows when I say professionals, when I mean doctors, lawyers, accountants, people like that.
My husband loves you. He wanted me to call in and talk to you.
There we go.
I'm forced to listen to you every single day because we carpool together.
Come on, you love it. You love it.
You know what? I actually agree with some of the things that you say, but I didn't agree with your topic yesterday.
You hated me when you first tuned in, and now some of it starts to make sense.
Some of it does, not all of it. I think you've had a few bad experiences with women.
You know why? Because you know why that is? You know why that is?
Why?
Because I have a penis.
Because you have a penis?
Yes. Anyone with a penis has had a bad experience with a woman.
Oh, I've had a lot of bad experiences with men.
Dear, that's fine. Call the chick who cares, okay? I'm a guy. This show's from a guy point of view.
Right.
And that's why so many guys tune in.
Do you know that my husband has taken more time off work than I have?
You know what? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. I see the other day somebody fell off a 16-story window or off a 16-story building and survived. Right. So I tell you what, why don't you try it yourself?
Okay.
Come on. Just because your husband is like that doesn't mean that that's generally the way it is. It isn't.
I know, but you're prejudging all women.
No, I'm talking in general terms. And general terms are generally true. And the word generally does not mean always or the word all.
Okay.
Do you understand the difference?
Sure.
Why is it women have a hard time understanding that distinction?
I don't know, Tom.
I think it's because a lot of them are just plain stupid.
I think men are stupid also.
Well, you know what? You can get a divorce, dear. You know where the front door is.
Well, my husband doesn't want to divorce me.
So, wait, what? You have
I'm not calling my husband stupid.
You need his...
But stupid also.
Didn't you say all men are stupid?
I said men can be stupid.
Oh!
Like women can be stupid.
Oh, see, you just did. You see, I just did what you did.
What?
I used the word all when the word all was not intended and was never said.
You said that you will never give your money to women. You said never.
Right, but again, I'm talking about women I'm involved with, women I am having some kind of sexual relationship with, or a hint of sexuality is involved, where there's nudity or sex involved, or the potential for nudity or sex, or lap dances, or anything having to do with physical contact.
Okay. And you're entitled to do what you want with your money. I agree with that.
Thank you.
And
that's why I won't hire a woman attorney, a woman doctor, a woman architect, a woman designer. I just won't hire any of them.
Yeah. My husband's really upset because he can't hear you right now.
I'll bet he is. You tell him I spanked you appropriately.
Tell him you spanked me appropriately?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's liking it, too.
He is. Thanks, Tom.
I'll come to it in person anytime. Just name a time.
Okay.
All right, darling.
Bye.
Appreciate the call.
1-800-5800.
I'm single. I'm very attractive.
Are your breasts holding up?
Very well.
Really?
I go to the gym 3 times a week and work out.
So you're not a member of SAG?
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom, that's our telephone number. All right. Is that Min on the Tom Leykis Show? Hello. Min is missing. All right. David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hi.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
You got my blood boiling with this story.
Do tell.
Because I'm living it.
All right.
My father migrated here from Ireland, came to San Francisco, bought a building, $2 million automotive repair business, 30-something years. Bought a couple of houses, lives up in Healdsburg, or he lived up in Healdsburg. Anyway, him and my mom separated a while back, early 90s. So he had a passion for horse racing. Some chick hooked up with him down there. They got together. She never worked, has never worked since they've been together. She's lived with him. Well, he passed away last year. And now, well, he got sick in 1995. He got bone cancer. Early 2000, late 2000, 2001.
Let's try to keep this. We don't have time for the whole timeline on this. Let's just get to the bottom line here.
All right. He had a stroke anyway, and he was in intensive care. She gets a lawyer in intensive care for him to change his will, writes a new will. She has her daughter, who's a notary public, there, signs the paperwork and everything is all done. Well, the notary public, her daughter, dated it the day after he did, which I mean, isn't the fact of a notary public to be there to see him signing the paperwork. Anyway, so we're in the legal court system now. It's just a nightmare. This woman wants, like, this $3 million estate my father built. So it's just a nightmare. And she's never worked, never done anything, lived a lap of luxury, a couple of trips to Ireland. You know, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, sure it is. I'm sure it is a nightmare. That's the way this works. That's the way this works. The system is set up so that men transfer wealth to women. That's the way it works. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Tina on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
I listen to you every day on the way home from work. I think you're hilarious. I agree with most everything you say. But I had to call my husband, and I'm freaking out about this. I make double what my husband makes.
So what?
We have separate credit cards.
What does that? How does that disprove anything I said?
You said that women take drinks from men and they go on.
There are, dear. Dear. All you're saying is that you're an exception to a very well-established rule. So what?
My mother's the same way. What kind of women are you?
Again, you're more likely to be like your mother, and I'm sure your friends are like you too. But the vast majority of women out there are not like that.
Then you should come hang out with us. You're finding the wrong women.
It's not the point. Point is, the vast majority of women are like that. They believe that men are supposed to transfer wealth to women.
Okay, I disagree totally.
You don't have any proof. In fact, what you disagree is based on the fact that you're not like that, so therefore the vast majority of women are just like you, which is wrong.
Look at all the feminists. They don't expect money from men.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You know, how many times have I talked about this on the program, about all the women who say, oh, I'm independent, I don't need a man, and meanwhile they've got an attorney and they're suing their ex to get child support and vagina money?
And I haven't gotten child support a day in
Again, this is not the Tina Show, okay? It's a show about 350 million people called the United States of America, okay? What you do has nothing to do with what people generally do.
Okay, well then, generally, yes, but you're fine.
Well, we're talking in general. I'm speaking to a large audience. You know, somehow, dear, you're delusional. You have the radio on, and you think my voice is speaking directly to you. When in reality, my voice is speaking to 45 different radio markets, and it is speaking to millions of people. And in general, everything I'm saying is true. And even if you aren't like that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything.
I agree with you. I'm just saying.
Good. No, you're going to repeat everything you just said, and I'm not letting you do it. It's painful. Nick on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Oh, my gosh. You would not believe how honored I am to talk to you right now.
As well you should be.
Well, you know, I'm listening to these stories, and, you know, I had a story like that. I don't know if you're familiar with the Orange County area around Brea.
Yeah.
Are you, do you know Bird Street? It's a popular little hangout around here.
No, I don't know it that well.
Okay, well, you know, it's pretty good among high schoolers, and I took a girl out on a date one time, and I went to the coffee shop, and I had just started listening to you about 2 months ago, and this happened a couple of weeks ago, and I know all about the rules and how you're not supposed to, you know, pay that much for a woman on a date. So we go to the coffee shop, the Starbucks, and I'm in line with her, and I order my drink, and she says, will that be all? And I say, yeah, and I move on, and I look back, and this girl is just staring at me like I just sprouted a third ear or something, you know? And I'm looking back at her, and I go, what? What do you want? And she's like, well, aren't you going to ask what I want? And I tell you, I just got so pissed because, and I said, you don't know, I'm not going to ask. You can order yourself. And I got so mad, and the whole date after that was just ruined.
Right, because see, there's an example. Women love to say how independent they are, but aren't you going to buy me coffee? Aren't you going to buy me a drink? Aren't you going to buy me dinner?
I think it's so dumb because, no, I'm not going to buy you drink and dinner, right. You know? If you know, the whole thing is women want to be independent, like you say, and yet, so why do we have to buy them drinks? Why don't women buy us drinks? Why don't we sit at the bar and say, would you like to buy me a drink?
That's a good question. That's a good question, Nick. And we know the reasons, because what I'm saying is true. The system is set up that women believe that men are supposed to transfer our wealth to women. Charles on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Great.
Last week at my job, I was talking to one of the employees, a girl, she's a nice-looking girl, big ass, fine face. And so she was telling me how her TV went out. And then what she was getting at, she finally asked me to buy her TV. And then she was going on. I said, well, what am I going to get out of it? Am I going to get some trim or anything? She said, but no, I got to get to know you first, and we need to date this and that. I said, well, can I get a hug and an ass squeeze or anything? No, I got to get to know you. I just don't have sex like that. But, you know, we can go look at the TV, and she wanted me to buy her a Coach purse, a TV, and look at a computer.
Unbelievable.
And she was serious. She was dead serious. And she said, well, you know, I don't just have sex with anybody. I got to get to know you and my kids. 5 kids, 2 different daddies.
Of course.
Yeah.
By the way, she had sex with them, just not you.
Yeah, but so what she'll do is have me buy these things for her and give the trim to somebody else. I would never get any trim.
At least you were smart enough. Unlike a lot of these idiots who call in here who spend the money, you said no.
I didn't even think twice. I just left it alone. It's not even worth it. I wind up in a lot of trouble, and I could lose my job.
No doubt about it. Thanks a lot. Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Tomorrow we'll be in San Diego. We'll do our show from the studios on 103.7 Free FM tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll do our first show from the Gaslamp. We'll be on Broadway, 615 Broadway in San Diego for a big listener party. Okay, the show is from 3 to 7 San Diego time. The doors open about 2 o'clock. For more details, go to our website. It's blowmeuptom.com. Candace on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
You know what? I agree with you totally. There's, 75-80% of the female population that want to be taken care of. And unfortunately, men have this in them that they feel that they're not a man unless they can take care of a woman, instead of letting them do it on their own.
That's why I'm here trying to remind the guys not to do that. Exactly. You know, if we all get together and refuse to do it, ultimately women are going to have to take care of themselves.
Right. There's only a select few that actually do want to do it and enjoy taking care of themselves. The rest just want to be taken care of for the rest of their life and don't want to do jack about it. And
there's many women out there who just don't want to do jack.
Yep.
And Jack is pissed.
Totally.
Thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. But what is your name? I can't read. It was written phonetically on the screen, and I cannot read that. What is that? Adriana? All right, Dean will get on the phone, and I'm obviously not pronouncing your name right. That's why she's saying they're not responding. So let's see what the deal is. Scott, hello.
Yes, how you doing, Tom?
Great.
Fantastic. It's good to talk to you.
I know.
I'm a 27-year-old male, and I had to call in about this topic. It kind of struck a chord today. I've been arguing the past 3 days with my girl about this very same thing. She has this 1960s mentality about how the girl should, or how the guy should be paying for everything. And we actually just moved in together, and so we've been fighting about this for the past 3 days. I probably pay for the majority of things when we go out together. I'd say probably 70-30. I pick up the tab, and every once in a while I'll ask her to pick up or throw in on a tab, and she finds that, I guess, offensive. And, you know, I expect the living expenses to be 50-50.
I find it offensive, too. You should be paying at most half.
Right. Well, you know, I think I enjoy doing it. It gives
Why?
me pleasure to buy her things.
Why?
You know, I just think it's nice to pick up the
No,
tab.
it's really not. She's your equal, and she should be treated equally.
Right. Well, you know, the thing that I see is we make the same amount of money. If I made 3 times more money than her, I would probably do that more often. But, you know, I expect our living expenses to be equal, and she finds that offensive. She thinks that since I'm the guy, I eat more food, I should pick up all the groceries. You know, and it's this 1960s mentality.
Outrageous. It's totally outrageous. Amazing stuff. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. Got that? Tom at blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.